Institutional discrimination refers to unfair treatment that is built into the policies, rules, or practices of organizations and systems. Unlike individual discrimination, which happens between people, institutional discrimination happens when a whole system treats some groups unfairly, often without anyone doing it on purpose. This can happen in places like schools, workplaces, or governments. The rules might seem neutral on the surface, but they end up helping one group while making things harder for another. Because it's part of how the system works, this type of discrimination can be harder to see and even harder to change. Institutional discrimination can take many different forms. One form is unequal access, which happens when some people have a harder time getting into a school, job, or neighbourhood because of how the system is set up. Another form is biased policies, where the rules seem fair but actually benefit one group more than others. For example, a rule that rewards certain types of experience that only some groups usually have. A third form is unequal outcomes, where different groups keep ending up with different results like lower test scores or fewer promotions, even if they start with the same abilities. These forms can overlap and happen at the same time, which makes the problem more complex. One cause of institutional discrimination is outdated systems. Many organizations were built a long time ago, and some of the rules and structures from the past are still being used today, even if they no longer make sense or are unfair. Another cause is unconscious bias, where the people who make decisions don't even realize they're favoring one group over another. A third cause is lack of representation. When decision makers mostly come from the same background, they might not see how certain policies affect others in different ways. All these causes can work together to create patterns that are hard to break. The effects of institutional discrimination can be long-lasting. It can limit people's chances to succeed, no matter how hard they work or how talented they are. Over time, this can lead to large gaps in education, income, or health between different groups. It can also hurt motivation. If people feel like the system is against them, they might stop trying or lose hope. On a larger scale, institutional discrimination can lead to social tension and mistrust, especially if people feel like they are being treated unfairly and no one is doing anything about it. Now let's look at some examples. In schools, students from some areas might get less funding, which means fewer teachers, older textbooks, and fewer chances to take advanced classes. In workplaces, a hiring process might favour people with certain experiences that are more common in one group, even if others are just as capable. In housing, a bank might have rules that make it harder for people in certain neighbourhoods to get loans, even if they qualify. These examples show how the system itself can create unfair outcomes, even without any person trying to be mean or unfair.